You may have heard of the phrase, less is more. You may also know if you keep doing the same thing and expect different results, that would be the first sign of insanity. So in this video, I'm going to talk about those two key points of how I used that and transformed my marathon training to come out with peak performance. So without further ado, let's go. A warm welcome back. Yes, my name is Donato, current England Masters runner and also coach, mentor to a number of people, helping get the best that they can out of limited time and resources. And if you are looking for some help and guidance, there's a link in the description to a Calendly link where you can book in a 30-minute chat with myself to see how I can help you or what you're looking to aim and achieve. So follow that link, get in touch. Now let's crack on how we can do more with less. Now, with the current weekend having just passed, where we had both London Marathon and Manchester Marathon, a number of other marathons around the UK, and whilst the weather was glorious sunshine like this, there was an awful lot of people where the race didn't go to plan, shall we say. And I think there's a number of reasons why sometimes race doesn't go to plan, but what I'm about to discuss with you, the dilemma that I had last year, where I'd finished my marathon at Manchester, epic time, new PB and all that, but those weeks, months after that, I was really struggling with all sorts of issues going on, and I needed to review and see what I was doing. So over the coming weeks, I'll be sharing in detail what my less is more training I was following, but also in terms of changing things up, because as I said, if you keep doing the same thing and expect different results, that is the first sign of insanity. So I knew I needed to change something. So let me go through what I was experiencing last year and how I've changed that, transformed it to where I now am full of vitality, energy, enthusiasm, and absolutely loving life and running the best runs that I'm doing ever in the past 10 years. Let's go. So yes, it was about this time last year, going into May and June, after having finished an epic Manchester Marathon, and I've been following the same training plan for a number of years and built my speed up and was doing really great. But I was beginning to notice a few things where maybe my body is changing. For those of you who haven't been following my channel here for a long time will know that I'm 63 right now, so maybe as we're getting older our bodies change and adapt. But I was coming out of 10k races, yeah, that's right, just 10k races, feeling exhausted, tired, and it was taking a long time to recover. So I was having an issue with recovery. So I thought things need to change up now. I need to look at something different. So I was basically tweaking a few things and trying to adapt the training for Berlin, and I adapted it to a particular point. And Berlin, I was totally unprepared, I think suboptimal training I'd done, but still came in a time of 3:07. So from an alleged disastrous summer of training, I still came in with a great time, but I knew I needed to still change it even more, as in do less. I felt my body was feeling fatigued and tired too much. Now I know there's a lot of social media out there to say that you need to get fatigued to get fast. Yeah, you go figure that one out. I think if you're fatigued and tired, how are you going to do your workout sessions? How are you going to do long runs? Yes, and I can appreciate that you're feeling fatigued and tired towards the end of a long run, say you're doing a 20 miler, but you should not be feeling fatigued and tired before going into a training run, before going into that. And that's my specific point, and one that I needed to target. So what did I do? How did I do it? How did I transform it to run an amazing time at Newport a couple of weeks ago, where I almost equaled that Berlin time, and yet I'd done a considerably less amount of training. Yes, and as you may have seen from my videos, I am absolutely full of beans and full of life. So a complete transformation. Am I taking drugs? What am I doing? No. I'm just living life and having a great time. So let's go to another position, update you of what I've been doing. So yes, there's no magic formula. There's all sorts of information out on the internet of what we can do, can't do, whatever. But for me, when I see content where, you know, if you race a marathon every month you're going to get quicker, to me that's basically clickbaity. You know, I can't think of anything more worse to do than racing a marathon every month to try and get quicker. You might get away with it for a number of months, but eventually it will catch you up. So I was looking at the opposite end of the spectrum, where I was looking to do less to get more. So I went back to basics, where I was training literally, in terms of training runs, I would only be doing 3 runs a week. Now it's a certain type of 3 runs, and I'll go through those details in later videos, but 3 runs a week, also cross training, going to the gym and focusing in on the essentials, which was eating and drinking. Yes, I focus on the 80-90%. I don't look at these marginal gains. I don't really give a rat's whatever how much of a particular super shoe would benefit it would give me, or if I take some bicarb soda, which by the way does only work on short distances like 800 meters, 1500 meters, doesn't work at all for any of the 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons. No, don't bother with that. And also, in terms of other products that you hear people talking about, forget it. I focus on the bulk and the majority. Works for me, works for the people I'm coaching, so it can work for you as well. Yeah. Now, it might be going against the mainstream, the numbers as I talk about, the things, the clickbait, what most people are watching, doing. I like to stick with the boring old stuff, the stuff that works and has been proven to work. Less is more, and not keeping doing the same things to expect different results. Challenge ourselves and do what we can. For me, it's all about enjoying the process. I don't focus on the outcome. Yes, I'd love to run quicker times, but I look at the process, how my training is going, and how all of that is going on there. Meanwhile, the old tractor behind me, I don't know how the noise is sounding here. Hopefully you can still hear me, so work on that. But we've got to work with the surroundings, what we have. Yeah, and it's the same with training. We got to work with the hands that we're dealt with, but sometimes we could control the hands that we're dealt with. So overtraining, overdoing everything, for me, and this might sound a bit harsh for some of the marathon runs in the past weekend, I believe a lot of people went into those marathons completely fatigued, tired, overcooked it, overdone it, not just in the race itself but the training leading up to it. Far too many miles, far too many 20+ mile training runs. You don't need to do those. I've met many masters runners, and some of them I met at Newport, where some of them don't even run more than 16 miles. That's right, in the long run. Now I know that might sound a bit radical for some of you, but it's been proven that we don't need to do these mega long runs. You certainly don't need to run marathons as part of the training for a marathon. Yeah. Now I do know some beginners want to do that to believe they can do it. I get that, but if you're an experienced runner, you do not need to run those distances. In fact, it's probably the worst thing to do. It'll fatigue you and tire. It'll take you longer to recover from those, and then you can't do your quality sessions after that long run. Makes sense? So let's move on and crack on with the next bit. Now, for some people watching, listening to this, it might be a bit radical. For some of you think, oh my God, someone's speaking a bit of common sense here. And that's what I'd like to feel. It might be old, boring stuff, but it's good common sense. Eat, drink, enjoy what you do, maintain the stresses, and obviously we need to take into account everything that's going on. I think too many people focus on just the training and forget everything else that's going on outside. Those all have an impact. You know, if you have a day job, children, family, other commitments, that's going to add stresses to our bodies, and we need to take that into account. We don't all have the luxury that elite athletes do, or full-time running influencers where their job is just to run. Yeah, so you know, we can't have naps in the afternoon to recover from a morning session before we do another session. Double thresholds, I really don't get that. Yeah, I do get it, but I'm not going to do those, never in a gazillion years. Yeah, now it might be because I'm in my 60s or whatever, but if you're some young whippersnapper, carry on, go and do it, and let me know how you get on. And this is where I think some people can get away with certain training and get some great improvements in a 6 months, 12 month, or even 2 year period, but then there'll come a point where they'll plateau, top, top out, as they say, and people say, oh, you need to do this, do that to then go back up another level. I think a lot of people then start to decrease and it's tailed off because they're done, so to speak. Hopefully that all makes sense. I hope you've enjoyed this video in some way, found it informative, educational. I will be publishing a whole series to go through in detail what I've been doing and also talk about the shoes. I've got some analysis now on exact shoes where I use the same brand, done the same run, the same time, similar distances, where I had one shoe that was the non-super shoe version of this particular brand, and then another run with the latest, greatest super shoe. And you'll be pleasantly surprised when you see the times, efforts and splits on that. So I'll be showing all that in coming weeks. So to ensure you don't miss out on all those, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that alarm bell, and you won't miss any of my upcoming videos. Thank you again, love you all, see you all soon. Bye 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 bye. Oh, did I tell you this? It's great seeing so many people out on the river here doing their rowing training, coxing, and also to my side here is Worcester Racecourse. I think there's a race coming up next week. Horse racing, that is, not me racing. But this is the actual route. You'll be having a video coming out soon where I paced for the first time ever a 20-minute park run. That's right, pacing 20 minutes. So I'm sure you'll all look forward to seeing that and how I got on and who was also there enjoying this wonderful park run here at Worcester Pitchcroft. That's enough of this addendum. See you all soon.